spent on space research will generate $40 worth of economy growth on Earth. If you lose your way hiking and get hypothermia, paramedics will save your life with an aluminium foil originally invented for heat control of satellites, a space blanket. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Join our fictional day in a life story and explore how much you are connected to space science as we unravel some space inventions you use daily. Emily is one of the 59% of American adults who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily. Her alarm went off at 6 a.m, signaling the start of her day. Normally, she starts her day with a 30-minute run around her estate. But today, she doesn't feel like it, so she decided to run on the G Treadmill in her personal gym at home. But little did she know that her favourite exercise machine was invented by space engineers. Back in the late 90s, NASA beckoned on one of its researchers, Dr. Robert Whalen, to develop new measures to help astronauts stay fit and maintain good physical condition during space missions. Whalen believed that differential air pressure could do the trick, consequently preventing the degradation of astronauts' skeletal system. This idea was paired with some interesting pieces of engineering, only to give birth to a device known as the G trainer. Fast forward to 2005, NASA and Whalen licensed the patent for this special treadmill to G Inc., an American medical device company owned by Sean Whalen, who unsurprisingly is the son of Robert Whalen, the man who invented the technology itself. Sean went on to create a commercial prototype of this exercise machine and called it the G Treadmill, and the rest, like they say, is history. Nowadays, the G Treadmill is a regular sight in training facilities, rehabilitation centres, military hospitals and several homes. Apparently, the G Treadmill isn't the only thing that Emily has to thank space exploration for. Before working out, Emily had arranged a playlist of her favourite songs on her phone, and during the session, she listened via a wireless headset. This is yet another gift that space exploration has given to mankind. Unknown to many, wireless headphones were invented by NASA engineers to help astronauts communicate in space without having to deal with wires. Today, it has become a mainstay for music producers, remote workers, and ordinary humans like Emily and the rest of us. By the way, Emily's outfit included a pair of Nike Air sneakers. You might be thinking, how does this concern space scientists? To answer this question, we need to travel down memory lane to 1971, when NASA engineer Frank Rudy pitched his blow rubber molding technique for making shoe soles to Nike. The concept was aimed at putting shock absorbers into the soles of running shoes. Nike absolutely bought the idea, and that's how the Nike Air sneakers were born. Studies have since shown that runners who wear the Nike Air sneakers are 4% more efficient than their pairs. More recently, in 2019, NBA superstar Paul George drew inspiration from his admiration of NASA and teamed up with Nike to create the Nike PG3X NASA shoe. This was a hit as well, and it sold out within minutes. I grew up in Palmdale, California, which has a big NASA base that not a lot of people know about. This shoe is for the kids who want to fly, whether as professional athletes or astronauts, he added. Back to Emily's house though. 30 minutes went by quickly. She had to get ready for work, but first, her 3-month-old baby, Josh, was crying at the top of his voice. He needed attention and, more importantly, food. Emily grabbed his food and rushed to the scene to pacify him. Once she arrived, she popped the cover of the baby food open and did the needful. Unknown to her, though, she has NASA to thank for this as well. But how? Does NASA have a feeding program for babies? Of course not. However, NASA researchers played a crucial role in the development of components that make up the baby food you buy in the supermarket. Back in the days, while exploring the possibility of creating oxygen in the world beyond using algae, NASA scientists found that some types of algae contain 2 variants of omega-3 fatty acids that are also contained in breast milk. After several experiments, the Federal Drug Administration gave its approval for these additives to be used in baby food, and manufacturers have continued to do so since then. Meanwhile, NASA's efficient water purification is also used to filter the water in the house. Next, Emily needed to have breakfast as well, so she helped herself with some freeze-dried scrambled eggs with bacon, grabbed her scratch-resistant lenses, and headed straight for the garage to take a ride to work in a Tesla Cybertruck. These three actions all have something in common though. Feeding astronauts in space was a big problem during the early days of space exploration. Hence, NASA spent hundreds of millions of dollars on different research schemes that eventually led to the creation of freeze-dried foods. Still, on the food debate, astronauts complained that some of the food provided to them produced too many crumbs. Also, dust and spatial particles could find their ways into the astronauts' eyes. NASA again invested a lot of money in research to invent scratch-resistant lenses. This ultimately solved the problem, but it doesn't end there. Private companies have incorporated this idea to produce eyeglasses that are 10 times more scratch-resistant than the normal ones. As for the car, that has some space engineering input to it as well, because according to TechCrunch, the Tesla Cybertruck is made of the same stainless steel alloy that SpaceX uses for Starship. Who would have thought that a time would come when cars and space rockets will share the same body panels? Moving on now, Emily was quite excited about going to work. Her seat partner and best friend Mary was turning 30, and Emily had planned a number of surprises ahead. But first, she needed to get a quick picture of Mary's birthday outfit to post alongside the epistle she had written the night before. She got her wish without much fuss, thanks to the camera on her smartphone. That's right, as the CMOS sensor in your mobile phone were also invented by space engineers. Next time you take a selfie, don't forget to pay homage to them. Now it was time to upload the pictures to the company's group on Slack. She decided her laptop was better suited for this task. In doing this, she has had to use two gadgets invented by space explorers. One of them happened to be the mouse, and the other is none other than the portable computer system. In fact, the world's first ever laptop was used in space. Emily rounded up with the day's work and made a quick stop at Mary's birthday party before returning home to end her daily cycle of activities. In between, she almost got lost on her way to the party, but the built-in GPS in her car came to the rescue. It's not a secret that the satellites that power this system are domiciled in space. Without astronauts and space exploration endeavours, that wouldn't have been possible. All the more as NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory was part of the GPS architecture in its early days. As Emily went to bed, space exploration presented its last two offerings for the day, her memory foam pillow and mattress. She had fallen asleep without knowing that the benefits of space engineering are there, even in her bedroom.